Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only just David. Patreon Saturdays. We have an episode to recap, people. Guys, we got to keep it somewhat light. What a toxic season of RHONJ. What a toxic season. So let's get into it. I mean, we're going to keep it light, but we can't spare people. We got to be honest about what's going on. So let's get into it. We could talk about some of the press and the real world stuff that's happening if we have time at the end. And then we're going to have a special guest. We all know who that probably is, right? But you never know here behind the velvet rope. So look, we've had a lot going on. We had Jackie Robinson Beard back for a part 2 this week. Melissa's old ex-Envy business partner. She claims Melissa took $10,000 out of the damn register. There you go. We had Melissa's, and that angered a lot of people. A lot of the Melissa fans were angered by her. We had Melissa's old nose on for a little quick chat. Lots of the tree huggers have slipped into the DMs. Everyone's angry about that. But the show goes on. We hear all the sides here, and it's not for me to determine. It's for you, the listener. Leave the comments. As long as you don't go low towards me, you can disagree with me. You don't get blocked. Your comments don't get deleted like I hear these other podcasters do. We don't do that. If you go low and you're like, David, you're an ugly fuck, or you should go across the street and get hit by a car, that's not going to stay on my platform. But for the most part, I can't remember the last time I blocked someone. So disagree. You don't like Jackie, you don't like old nose. That's up to you guys. But I find it all very interesting. So, look, we have season 14, episode 3. The episode starts, and we have the Messler, Jen Fessler. I love calling her the Messler. I said before the season started, I'm very intrigued by this Messler, this Jennifer Fessler. I feel, we barely saw her last season. So to me, she's almost like a new housewife. She's almost like a new friend because I feel like she got so little last season with Cabral being new and Fuda being new that I really am most intrigued by her. And I actually have to say, I like Jen Fessler. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So we know that she had a talk with Trey and Tree and Marge was upset. But listen, tree huggers, don't get so excited that you got another girl on your side, because in all the press she's doing, the Marge has made it very. Do you guys know my friend, the Saj? The Saj, you might know her. She's a very, very good friend of mine. I mean, actually, the woman can't stand me, but she just went, let me tell this story. Did I tell this story before? Not really that big a deal. Patty Stanger, the millionaire matchmaker, very good friend of mine, really, truly a very good friend. Her new show is on the CW, The Millionaire Matchmaker. It's back. Patty's doing a ton of press. She came to New York. She had an event. She invited me. I was in LA. I'm now in the Hamptons, but I was in LA. I couldn't go. Margaret went. I mean, a lot of housewives went. Lou. So Patty says to Margaret, "Oh my God, are you here with David?" Because listen, I'm really good friends with Patty, but I don't waste time with telling everybody. Margaret and I fell out. The rat that scurries, that's Hamrat. She's in the corner. She loves her Gouda. She doesn't love Munster, that Tamrat. I don't fill people in. Like, this one hates me now, that one blocks me. So I guess Patty's like a year behind here. And so, I mean, because like we don't talk about housewives when we talk. So she says to Margaret at her event, promoting her new show, she says, "Oh my God, good to see you. Are you here with David?" Because Patty invited me, and I never really got around to saying I won't be there because I'm in LA. This is in New York City. Anyway, none of that's here or there. So Patty says to Margaret, "Great to see you. Are you here with David?" And Margaret's like, I mean, I don't air my dirty laundry, right? Because like, it's just not like, Margaret's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not here with David. David did some really bad things to me. Did really bad things to me. So the day after the event, the phone is fucking ringing. I see it's Stanger. And I pick up, "Hey girl." And she's like, "What happened between you and Margaret?" It's like, oh Jesus. It's like, what the fuck? So I'm like, what are you talk? First of all, what are you talking about? I got actual work to do here. I have to record a fucking episode for these lovely listeners. And she's like, "Well, Margaret said this and that," but she didn't say anything. She just said, like, a passive aggressive Joseph says, "Well, I don't know. Ask David." Like, so she says, like, "No, I'm not here with David. He did all sorts of bad things to me." So, of course, Patty is going to ask because Margaret is so passive aggressive. Margaret's like, "Well, what happened between you two?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Ask David. Ask David." Passive aggressive move, Joseph's. And by the way, before everyone says I sound bitter and angry, do I sound bitter and angry? I don't care. I find it all very amusing. So Margaret's over there at an event for Patty's new show talking about me. I don't even know what my fucking point was, but there you go. But what's my point? My point is don't count the Fessler as one of your own, guys, because the Marge, my friend the Saj, that's how we got into this thing. My friend Marge the Saj has, done a lot of press and says, "Listen, Jen Fessler and I are very close. This does not mean that she's in Teresa's camp." Okay. I also don't want to be a snob at the start of our Patreon chat here today. Everyone thinks I am at times, but I'm really very down to earth. But I am back in the Hamptons for the summer, and it's my happy place in the world. And I'm just such more of a Hamptons girl than the Jersey Shore. I'm watching this. The only Jersey Shore I want to talk about is Miss Pavarnik, JWoww, and Snookers. I love me some Snookers. I love me some I love me some Angelina. I just seeing all this crap at the Jersey Shore, I'm just thrilled that I'm summering in the Hamptons. I know that makes me sound like a snob, but I'm being honest. And regardless of whether you like the Jersey Shore or not, I don't need to see. It's the same thing. We started filming later. We took a hiatus, and we're still seeing the Jersey Shore. We're still not seeing. I want the Christmas. I want the sprinkle cookies. I just want something different. I don't need to see the Jersey Shore ever again with everyone's house and this and that. And by the way, I mean, I was at the finale party a few years ago at quote unquote Melissa's house, even though it wasn't her house. It was a house they rented. How many fucking houses do the Gorgas have they don't have them all at once, but like every time it says Melissa's house, it's a new house. I think they're renting all these houses. They certainly rented the one that I was at with the finale where they smashed the glass. Anyway, I am looking at my notes here and I don't even understand what I wrote for the next point. So unfortunately, oh, I do understand. Just another thing that irks me. I guess I am kind of